hello, and I'm back to review Demon Slayer Volume 3, and I'm on my flow. This one starts off with the last one, ended with him fighting the two demons who could take him to Muzan. He's fighting the demon who was in the tree with invisible arrows. Ashiko is fighting the female demon with the Tomayo balls, and she ends up getting help from Tomayo, who realizes that she's not at her full strength, even though Natsuko's getting stronger. We find out Tomayo is afraid that if the demon goes at her full strength, then Natsuko's gonna get injured, so she ends up using her demon art powers. It seems like she can use like her own blood to cast spells, it seems like. So she ends up a spell that seems like a truth serum, so that the demon can say Muzan's name and activate the curse that all demons are under. And I'm finding out that she's really not one of the 12 Kisuki, and that ended up putting like a curse on her or something to make her think she was. But they take her blood anyway to try and make a cure for Natsuko and other demons. Long after he had to new job where he encounters on the road another demon slayer named Zenitsu, who was at the final selection with him, so he's a pretty new demon slayer. Instead of a crow, he has a tiny little sparrow as a messenger bird. And we see that he's kind of like a coward, like he doesn't want to be a demon slayer. He just ended up going there because he had a bunch of debts that he had to pay off. And the guy who ended up training him ended up getting his debts, I think. They head off where they find a house in the middle of the woods. That's their next job, and they find siblings, a young boy and girl whose brother had been taken into the house. And when they start going in, find it was three demons. Main one who's taken over the house, he has a bunch of drums over his body. One demon who's under the house who uses his tongue to attack people, and another one who has horns, I think. The drum demon's the main villain of this little job, and we find out that he used to be one of the 12 Kisuki, but he ended up getting thrown out because he was getting a lot weaker. He wasn't encountering that many humans, to kill them and get stronger, so Muzan threw him out. And so he's been trying to find humans with a specific blood type in order to really kill them and get stronger. And his power are these drums that's over his body, one in each shoulder, one on each leg, and then one on his chest. And then he had another one on his back that ended up getting ripped off during the fight with the other two demons who came to the house to try and get the humans he was kidnapping. And so they fought, and then the two siblings' older brother who was taken with this rare blood type grabbed the drum, which allows the rooms to change in the house. Each drum does something slightly different. They'll turn the room or flip it the room. The one on the chest does a slash attack. And Tanjiro mostly fights the drum demons, and then Zenitsu fights the demon with a long tongue. And then another guy comes in with wearing a bull mask, but he also has the demon slayer swords. And we don't find out what he looks like. I don't even think we find out his name in this one, but he's basically just a guy who just wants to fight everyone to prove that he's stronger and everything. He just doesn't care who he's fighting as long as they're a strong person to fight. He tries to fight Tanjiro at one point, but then he runs away to try and fight someone else. And so Tanjiro ends up killing the drum demon. And then you find out his backstory, he was a musician, he was a composer who ended up being turned into a demon. And seems some of the demon's powers maybe relate to who they were before they became demons, because he was a composer, and then he has the power to manipulate this house using like drums, like music. So I don't know if like there's a connection there. Oh, it's like, I don't know, like a coincidence. I have no idea. Yeah, and so far, like, all of the demons have a bunch of different powers. Like, it is kind of fun to know the different powers and whatnot. Like, and even like all of the demon slayers, for the most part, that we've seen have different techniques, different forms, like Tenshio's. So like kind of like water based. Shinichu's attack we see is like, I think it was like lightning based. And like all the demons have different powers. Like there's the drum demon. Tomayo almost does like blood magic type of thing. Like we see her do 2 different like spells, and they've been different. Then there's the demon with the tamari balls, the arrow demon. And so it does make all the fights kind of interesting, just because like they all have like different powers. Like it's not like they all use like the same like elements. Like in Black Clover, like everyone has like a specific like element they have, like fire, water, earth, wind, plant, like earth. Like they all have like a specific element, but they use them in different ways. But then if you have the element that's maybe like opposite, it would give you like an advantage. Like 2, I think. Like the NFL Volume 1 and 2. That the guy with like ice powers and Magnus fighting him, and he has like flame powers, so his powers like has like an advantage over his, almost like Pokemon, because like, you know, like fire speak to water, so just throw in like a water Pokemon to fight them. But then you have all of these demons who have such different abilities that you can't like use like the same thing over and over again. You have to try and find like a new way to beat them. Instead of like doing like the same technique over and over again. And then the volume ends with them defeating the demons. He's taking the 3 siblings out of the house, and they find the brother who had been hiding and beating the drum to search the rooms because he kept getting scared, and like this was like the only way he could like protect himself. They leave and then find like Shinichu like protecting the box Nezuko's in, because he left outside originally 2 siblings to protect them, but they got scared because Nezuko was making like scratchy noises in the box, and so they had run into the house to try and find Tenshiro. And the bull mask guy is like attacking Shinichu because he knows that there's something like in the box. I think like a good moment for Shinichu, where like even though he is kind of like a coward, like he might know that there's a demon in the box, and that Tanjiro was carrying on the demon, but he was protecting it anyway, which I think is kind of like a good character moment with Shinichu, where like even though he's like a coward, he still like can be brave if he wants to. And then it ends that way. At this point, I'm still like, it's nothing to do with the plot of this book, but just like a general thing of like what Muzan's plan is, because like so far several of the demons, except for the pair who went after Tenshiro and Tomayo, none of the demons have been doing like any kind of like plan that he's setting up, because like the demon who was taking the young girls wasn't enacting any kind of like plan for him. He was just taking the young because he just wanted to. The demon in the temple, after Nezuko gets turned into a demon, wasn't doing any kind of like plan. The drum demon, well, he was one of the Hizuki. He wasn't anymore. He was trying to get back into them by trying to find these people with like the rare blood type. And so he did have more of a connection to Muzan, but he wasn't like doing any type of like plan. He wasn't like he had doing any kind of like old job that maybe he was doing. So it's like I'm just kind of like curious as to what his plan is, because like except for trying to kidnap Tenshiro and Tomayo for being a traitor, we haven't seen too many like plots connect back to him, if that makes sense. Like, because for now some of the demons have been kind of like separate what they know of him. They might have a connection to him, but we haven't seen like any specific plans relating back to him. Well, there's none that I can put together right now. And it's also like, if he's like turning people into demons, but then he went after Tenshiro's family in the beginning, not because not because he knew who he was. He just kind of like apparently like felt like it, and he turned Nezuko into a demon even though she was 12. So like, why would he turn that 12-year-old girl into a demon? Unless I'm just like missing something. I don't know, I guess right now we just don't know that much to make a guess, but it just seems like, except for sending the two demons after Tanjiro because he recognizes the earrings that Tanjiro is wearing, we haven't had, I don't know, I guess just too much that connect back to him in order to figure out like what his plan is, or like what he's trying to do by like turning a bunch of people into demons. Because it's like he didn't even know who Tanjiro was until he saw him in the city and saw his earrings. And that was when he recognized something about, like, so there's some type of connection there. Like, where did Tanjiro get the earrings? And like, why was Muzan so willing to go after Tanjiro to try and like kidnap him? I'm just kind of like wondering what his master plan is. There is the curse of saying that any demon who talks about him gets killed. None of the demons except for the 12 Kisuki are really like connected. Like they all like, for the most part, like work for him, but not really. Like a lot of them seem to be mostly like independent, going around doing their own thing unless he tells them to. Like the only group we hear of in the demons are the 12 Kisuki. So it's like I'm just kind of like wondering, like what's going on with him. I think that's just my main curiosity right now. Like what's going on with him? Like what's his deal? Like is he just turning people randomly into demons? If he's trying to turn as many people into demons as possible, like why did he kill Tanjiro's entire family and leave like one person alive? Like if he's trying to make a bunch of demons, wouldn't he want to like turn Tanjiro's family into demons and then like take them with him? Like what is he doing? Put it in the comments below if you have any ideas. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's everything. I might be looking it down like 'cause I have like notes and everything on here. But anything else really that I have like a huge issue with? Also part of it's just like I am rather enjoying Demon Slayer. I think that's everything for now. See ya.